Hi everyone, this is Richard. Today I'm going to be making a case for adding the novel The Forever War to future sessions of English 256 Literature of Science Fiction. While I have tried to not have any spoilers in this presentation, obviously going over it in any amount of detail is going to give away some aspects of the story, so I hope I don't ruin it for everyone who plans on reading it in the future. So the story follows Private Mandela, who is a college graduate, has a degree in physics, and his fellow soldiers, who are all also very smart people, primarily composed of doctors, scientists, linguists, engineers. They've all been drafted through the Elite Conscription Act into the military, since the military wants the best and brightest to fight in space, an alien race known as the Taurans, and they have to travel through collapsers or wormholes near the speed of light in order to get to alien planets and set up bases and fight the aliens. Unfortunately, due to the laws of relativity, they actually are time traveling, since from their perspective they're going at the same speed as the rest of the universe, but the universe is actually going much faster whenever they approach the speed of light, which causes them to jump forward in time each time they go on a mission to a new planet. I primarily chose this book because I recently finished it around spring break, so it was fresh in my mind, but it would make a good fit for a class like this due to the availability and price, as well as the length, but most importantly, the themes and genres it contains. The Forever War is readily available, as it was originally published in December of 1974 and has since then been released in 156 different editions in English as well as many other languages. It's also been awarded the Nebula, Locus, and Hugo Awards for Best Novels. Another benefit to choosing this novel is the price. It can be found from $9 to $16 brand new, and usually between $5 and $10 used, which is absolutely nothing compared to some of the textbooks we have to buy. And if you really don't want to buy it still, you can get free copies from several different library sources. Even Nova's library has 2 copies, as well as Fairfax, Alexandria, Prince William, and Loudoun counties all have different options for both physical and digital versions to be loaned out. But my guess is once you read it, you'll probably end up buying it anyways. The novel is 36 chapters long. Some of the chapters are shorter or longer than others, but overall they're generally very short. My version of the book was 265 pages. I started reading this, like I said, beginning of spring break, and I finished it 2 days after we started coming back to school after spring break. So I think it took me 11 or 12 days to read, and I wasn't reading it super heavily. I averaged 2 to 3 chapters a night. Many of the subgenres we've covered over the semester are present in the book as well, which gives it the broad range to be covered throughout the semester. It's mostly a military war space opera novel, but there's also quite a bit of dystopian and post-dystopian. You get to visit both, since the time travel aspects allow you to see different versions of Earth throughout time in the future. Obviously aliens, the time travel, and a lot of the subgenres we've covered are present in the book. On top of the many subgenres the book can fill, it also has a lot of themes built into it that can assist in having a deeper class discussion the couple of times throughout the semester, including obviously military, war, combat, death, those types of things, as it is a military novel, but some other aspects as well. So society, social, political issues, love, and companionship. There's a lot of different aspects of the book that can be discussed. This is a timeline of how our semester was set up this year with the subgenres spread throughout the 15 weeks, but I would make a few changes. Evolution and post-humanity would be taken from week 4 all the way down to week 12. Cyberpunk and AI would be brought back to week 6, and then Aliens from week 6 would be brought back to week 4, where evolution and post-humanity was. And then dystopian would be combined into war, and apocalypse and post-apocalypse would be brought back onto their own, where dystopian was in week 8. The book is separated into 4 sections, but we will be dividing it into 3 since one of them is so short. The 3 sections would allow several weeks for the students to read each section, and then a couple times throughout the semester, the section that was read previously would be discussed, and it could break it out more evenly. That way the book isn't having to be talked about every single week and taking up as much space from a lot of the short stories. And then the weeks that it is discussed, perhaps one of the short stories could be removed or substituted for a shorter one if there is already some longer short stories built into that week. The first section of the book is called Private Mandela, and it covers chapters 1 through 15. This chapter would be covered in the Aliens section, as most of the section is just setting up the novel for the rest of the story, but there is some mention of the aliens as well as some aspects around humanity's opinions and interactions with them up to this point that could be covered here. The second section is Sergeant Mandela. This is by far the longest section with the most events occurring. So we would cover this over the war and dystopian week, which is one of the changes I had made, where I moved apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic onto their own and combined war with dystopian, as this section covers pretty heavily war, conflicts, and battles, and then some dystopian aspects as well. Lieutenant Mandela is the third section of the book, and it is by far the shortest. It's only one chapter, pages 163 to 178 in my version. So I would just include this with the next section since it's so short. The fourth and final section of the book is Major Mandela, and it's covered in chapters 28 through 36. This section, while it does have some more war and battle aspects to it, a final battle for the story, it does involve evolution of humans and post-humanity that wraps up the story. So this would be a good spot to wrap up the book and the conversation, as it gives a couple of weeks left over for the last essay to be done, and then presentations and movie night. By choosing to read The Forever War, it also allows the students to read some other books by the same author if they want to, if they enjoyed The Forever War, or even perhaps integrate it into their essay too, or their presentation if they choose to perhaps do like an alternate ending or discuss something there. Forever Peace is by the same author. It's thematically similar to The Forever War, but it does not take place in the same universe. Same with another book I don't have yet called Forever Bound. But Forever Free is the direct sequel to The Forever War. And then A Separate War, which here is also with an anthology of other stories, has a story about one of the characters that separates off from Mandela, our main character, during the Forever War and tells their story. A little bit of additional information or trivia about the Forever War is that there was a play produced in Chicago by the theater in Chicago in 1983, but it only ran for a few weeks. And from what I can see online, there is no video footage that was saved of the play. It was only photographed a couple times. There was a board game of the Forever War made in 1983, as well as a comic line done in 2017. There was also a video game being produced, but it was canceled. And there is supposedly, via rumors, a Forever War movie that is in pre-production that is going to be directed by Ridley Scott. But as of right now, it's mostly just rumors. And this wraps up my presentation. Hope everyone enjoyed it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.